Hey mamas, so much goes into preparing for birth, but what about right after birth? In this video, I'm talking about one thing that happens to a lot of moms after birth that can be a little startling or even concerning. I'm Bridget, a childbirth educator and a birth doula. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future empowering and educational videos that I send your way. As you're going through labor, especially for the first time, there are a lot of new sensations, processes, hormonal changes that are happening that definitely don't happen every day and sometimes can be a little nerve-wracking, especially if you don't know what to expect. This is why educating yourself is so empowering because it makes the unknown a little more known and a lot less scary. If you're not feeling educated or empowered yet for your birth and postpartum period, make sure you check out the Built to Birth free mini birth course linked down below. Now, after having your baby, you'd think that everything would just go back to normal, but for a lot of women, myself included, you experience something that you didn't see coming. Uncontrollable body shakes, like really intense shivers that just overtake your entire body. When you don't see it coming, this phenomenon can be alarming to a mom who's just given birth. But like I always say, the more you learn, the less you fear. So let's take a look at why this happens. It could be due to the loss of fluids after birth. After all, you do lose about half a quart or 2 cups of blood during a vaginal birth, or about 1 quart or 4 cups from a C-section, not to mention other fluids such as your amniotic fluid, sweat as you've been working hard during labor, and of course, pee. It could also be due to mama's body temperature dropping during labor so that after birth, she's actually cold, resulting in shivering. There's also a chance that the shaking is caused by a tiny bit of baby's blood getting mixed in with mama's blood, and because mama's body doesn't recognize it and it's not compatible with her own, her body creates this shaking phenomenon after birth. Lastly, the theory that makes the most sense to me is that it's caused by the major hormonal shifts that happen during the last bit of labor and then immediately after birth. At the end of labor, mama's adrenaline rises. Throughout labor, the goal is to keep adrenaline nice and low to reduce mama's fight or flight response and allow her to really sink into that primal part of her brain that helps her relax and find her groove in labor. When adrenaline rises too early in labor, we actually see the opposite of what it does at the end of labor. Adrenaline at the end of labor can help quicken birth, boost mama's energy to push, and it makes babies more alert after they're born. Early on in labor, however, adrenaline can cause labor to slow or even stop progressing. This is because adrenaline is often produced when there is a perceived threat. If in labor mama perceives a threat, her body is going to stop labor until she can find a safe place for it to begin and progress again. At the end of labor, a rise and release of adrenaline is a normal part of labor. And if we look at it from a non-human standpoint, if an animal were in labor and about to give birth, it would be safer for them to give birth quickly and take their young to find shelter at the end of their labor. All of this to say, this adrenaline that courses through mama's body at the end of labor can cause those uncontrollable shakes even during labor as well, usually in transition as she's preparing to push and right after she has her baby when the adrenaline is still really high. Those shakes can create tension in your body, and because they're involuntary, they're not going to be the most relaxing thing in the world, obviously. So here are some ways to help when you're experiencing them. Hold your baby. This is going to help you relax and share body heat with them. Have blankets nearby to wrap yourself in a hospital. A lot of times your care team will put baby blankets on you that were in the warmer onto you, and it feels really nice, cozy, and warm. And then lastly, breathe. Usually when you're shivering, your chest and your shoulders get all tight. And if you consciously take deep breaths in and relax your chest and shoulders, you'll notice a reduction in the shaking. If you've experienced shaking in one of your labors, comment down below. But that's it for this video. And as always, if you're looking for a comprehensive childbirth education course to prepare you for a happier, healthier, and easier birth, check out the free mini birth class or the full Built to Birth online course in the description down below. See you in the next video.